Anyway, the Fayetteville House Show, I stopped by there. I ate with some of my friends before that. I hung out with some of the guys. And I just went in that day and I talked to everybody, hey, just want to say hello to everybody, da-da-da-da-da. And he just kind of was on his own that day. Just very uncomfortable with me being there, obviously. And that night when the show was over, my whole point of going there was just to prove, look, I can be in a building with this guy and coexist.
And that's
no problem.
Spear him.
Yeah, it's no problem. And we came past it. We left there that night. I went and ate with some more of the guys. We went to Outback. Shannon was with me. We left there. We went to a club. We went to another club. We were there till like 1:30 in the morning or so, just hanging out, trying to have a good time and enjoy ourselves. We got on the road that night. It's actually the night that Shannon was in an accident where he just got in front of me and a car hit him head on. We were there till 4:30 or 5 in the morning, there all night. And lo and behold, the next day, and I'm still talking with Amy every day at this point, obviously. And Amy calls me the next day. She says, blah, 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 and we're just talking general conversation, and this, that, oh, really? I say, yeah, we did this last night, or we went here, or whatever. And she says, what about Adam's car? I was going, what about Adam's car? He said, I don't know if you heard this or not, but he got his tire slashed in his car band last night. I said, come on. I said, you're fucking with me, right? She said, no, really, he did. I said, come on, what? Why are you telling me this? It made me happy?
Yeah.
She said, no, really, he did. And I was going, you're kidding me. And I had no idea about it. And it was somewhere in Columbia, South Carolina, wherever he stayed there. And I was going, that's great. I said, well, that makes my day. That's exactly what I told her.
Yeah.
And I mean, she can tell from talking to me, even when she told him, that it was obvious that I didn't know anything about it. I had no concept.
Yeah.
So I guess the deal was, just they thought because I was in Fayetteville, and this is the Carolinas where, once again, strong following. They thought that I automatically either did it, which it would have been physically impossible for me to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And then, or that I had somebody do it for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
And the thing that happens is that the office, I think that was the final straw, and like saying that there was going to be too much trouble and that I was going to end up being released. But lo and behold, I found out, going back to Joe and Susie, is right. Another thing where I was so upset after Amy had left, I called a couple of friends and I got Susie's number. And just out of spite, I had Susie come over, hung out with her a couple of days, and as soon as I could get a chance to become physical with Susie, I did.
Yeah.
Just for the fact that I wanted to tell Amy that, just being so outraged.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like she was the person.
Give her a taste.
I was going to talk to at that time. Just what I felt, and I knew it would hurt her at the same time, just because I'd been hurt so bad. Which was the right thing to do? No, but it's what I did.
Yeah.
And anyway, Susie's old boyfriend, Joe, who'd always hated me for a long time now because we'd been such good friends before, somehow had either heard about his tires being slashed, or because Joe is on drugs pretty bad and knows a bunch of real shady characters, could have possibly even done it himself. But I found out Joe actually contacted some people in the WWE and said he heard that Matt Hardy put a hit out on Adam Copeland. And that's where that information came back from. That couldn't happen. They ended up just vandalizing the car. And then for some reason, I was never asked about this and had absolutely zero, less than zero to do with it. And they ended up they assumed it was me, and then from hearing this piece of information, which I just found out a few days ago, that was the determining factor.
Wow. And what have you done with this information other than tell it here? Have you told anybody else? Like, I mean, have you told WWE? Did you talk to Amy about this? Did you talk?
Amy knows.
Yeah.
And Adam knows.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of remorse he has, but I know I think he does feel bad that I was released.
Yeah.
And he didn't think that should have happened.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to make sure that, and I don't know, I haven't communicated with him obviously since then. But I'm definitely going to make sure. I only found this out a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going to make sure some people know about it.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty strong.
That's heavy.
That's very heavy.
That's real heavy.
Just on this assumption.
And are you pretty sure, based on the information you have, that was truly the final straw with management, hearing about that, and that they just either believed it or felt that, well, that's a good way for us to be able to get Matt out of the situation and keep pushing Edge?
I think so. I think they just kind of wanted to get out of the situation, too.
And that was whether it was true or not, they felt.
And then, too, on top of this, they were upset that I made it such a public situation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But
that wasn't the bigger thing.
Yeah. I don't believe for a second, my personal opinion, I don't believe for a second that if you were higher on the totem pole and Edge was out with an injury and you were making money for them or on the verge of making money for him and you had made it public, that they would have still let you go.
Right.
Because it is about business with them primarily. They're in the wrestling business, and that's what they care about first and foremost. It's not about fairness. It's not about what's right.
Right.
If they can say, you know what, we've got edge, we've got momentum, let's do what's easier and better for business, then that's what they're going to do. But going public with it and talking as much about it with people who then talk to other people and spread the word, I mean, that was no question something they would have preferred not to have, because to them it's a personal situation that's a headache.
And it was like one of those things, I mean, it was just such a chain reaction. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Because you just tell a couple of people and it spreads, and then it spreads, and it's on the net, and then once that addressed, then if I do address it at all, and then other people address it, and then like a few people chant, and then they tell other people, more people chant, and then eventually we got a full-fledged garden thing,
Yeah.
you know, and who knows how long that lasts or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know, just especially with that, to shun me like that and kind of block me out of the whole scenario and
Yeah.
not even ask me or try and speak with me on a level about like resolving the situation was very, very unfair.
And so it was Joe who called management and said
He called someone else that I know without using names, called
Sure.
someone else that had another called someone else to management.
Yeah, yeah, and made that accusation and
Yeah, and actually, and there's absolutely no, I mean, it's like, it's just such an absurd thing. Like when I heard that, I actually laughed.
yeah, yeah.
And then once I found out where it came from, wow, I was furious. I mean,
Yeah.
because I heard that there was some sort of assumption that there was a hit put on him that night, and I thought that was comical,
Yeah.
laughable. Because one, I mean, just even looking back, rationally thinking, like, why would I even chance doing something on that? If I knew that you would obviously you'd go to jail or whatever. I mean, it's not worth it. If I was going to do anything to him, I would have went and fought him at that Fayetteville house show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was going to be that simple-minded, like, because I didn't want to lose my job out of the whole
Yeah.
thing.
And you're on good terms with Amy. You're trying to fix things.
Yeah.
That's not going to fix things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just really, really shitty.
Yeah. Yeah. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that Edge's career, or that Edge will ever be looked at the same way because of the way the wrestling business works? If people can make money with Edge, they're going to set this aside? Or do you think that this stained him personally enough that this actually will haunt him overtly for the rest of his career?
I think it'll always be remembered overtly,
Yeah.
unless there was something he did to make things right
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form.
And is there something he can do to make it right
I don't
at
know.
this point?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's one of those things you'll know if it happens, but the
Yeah.
effort hasn't been there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think the chances are right now of things working out with you and Amy?
I really don't know.
Have things gotten better at all in since the time when you first discovered this in that 2-week period, and now you've been talking to Amy regularly? Have things gotten better, or have things gotten worse, or kind of the same?
I think there would be periods where they got better. We actually had a real good period, like the week before I was actually released,
Yeah.
where we spent a lot of time together, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then like the release happened, and it was just, actually, she came up and she got some of her stuff from my house and spent a couple days there, and then actually went back to her place in Atlanta, and I went and spent a couple days with her. It was actually a pretty good, productive week. And then driving home that day, that Sunday, I stopped in Greenville, South Carolina, with one of my buddies, and actually worked out in his ring. It was just like I was having great workouts. I worked like 3 or 4 guys just in small matches, back to back to back. Just felt real good. And that's actually when I was informed. I got the call that day on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then after that, that was pretty heavy. I just remember it.
Were you shocked, or did you think that might come? Was that always in the back of your mind, or did
It
you
was in
think,
the back of my mind.
Yeah, but the odds were less than 50% in your mind?
Yeah,
that
you
they
know,
would,
really,
that they
I
would do
wouldn't have
that.
expected. I wouldn't think they would do it coming out of the situation.
Yeah.
But then again, nothing surprised me because
Yeah.
I've been around for a while.
Yeah.
And then I just remember that happening, and I remember talking to Amy after that. Jeff was the first person I spoke with. Actually, called and left a message on her phone, and she called me when she landed, and like I told her, she was just floored by it. And she was just like, she just felt so bad. So I just want to be there with you. I'm just so sorry.
Yeah.
And da 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 da. And we had a couple of days after that where she did come, and we were together again for a few days, which was pretty good. And then just like all this anger started spewing out of me, just stemming from the release. And that's like when I wasn't working anymore. Then all these people were asking about doing radio interviews, this, that, and the other thing. And I started doing those, just because now I'm at a point where it's like I have to take care of Matt and promote Matt.
Yep.
But then just speaking about this story on these radio interviews and just kind of bringing this stuff up again bothers her more, because now it feels like I'm, you know, trying to intentionally attack her again.
Yeah.
You know, and not make it like a personal thing. And it's just like, it's so hard because like the thing was, I'm not trying to do that specifically to you, but it's just like I am trying to promote myself and tell my side of the story, because now I have to worry about my future.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on. You know, so that created tension right there, and I'm sure any tension that created just kind of pushed her towards Adam.
Yeah. And do you think she is more towards Adam now in terms of thinking maybe he's who I want to be with as of this tape?
I don't know. I really don't think there's really much difference, because then like it's almost a deal where I've came to a point where just like I've dropped it. Just like I got so sick of being just angry and just upset and full of disdain. It's just
Yeah.
like, fuck, I'm just such a negative person. It's just like, I can't believe this is my life, and I can't believe
Yeah.
I'm in this state because I'm the guy that is not that.
Yeah.
You know, so I just said, fuck it, I'm just going to drop it. I'm just going to drop everything. I'm not going to talk trash about him. I'm just not really going to speak on her. The situation is the situation. It is what it is, and I'm past it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and just with that being said, and like kind of the dust settling, like it's kind of improved our communication back and forth.
Because you've let some things go, at least for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if something if it turns out where you end up back with Amy and you're 100% confident that you guys have a strong relationship now, and you're not worried about her being vulnerable around Adam, what are the odds that WWE calls up and says, you know, you're back with Amy, the situation has settled down, it was totally unfortunate what happened, but we figured some things out, we've cleared the air, we want you back. Do you think there's a good possibility something like that could happen?
I don't know. I would like to think that would be possible, but I don't know. I really have no idea, and it's hard for me to even have an idea of what my standing is with him right now,
Yeah.
because I have felt so shunned.
Yes.